everybody, welcome back to this Around the Ropes Dynasty exclusive, I guess we can call it. Guys, we are in the midst of Dynasty Week as Dynasty is set to make their return to Empire Live this Saturday for Capital Gains, which is weird to think now. The first show was 2 years ago this week. It's absolutely insane. But I want to, obviously, you guys know we had Jason on it. With the man who's going to be in the ring announcing everybody. He is the loudmouth, as we can tell by his name. But welcome back to the show, the one and only loudmouth Leo. Leo, welcome back to the show. How you been, my friend?
I've been doing great, John. Thank you for having me back. It's a pleasure to be here on Around to join you.
Absolutely. It's like I said, it's been a while since you've been on.
At least a year, I would like to think. It's been a wild year, but glad to be back. Excited for this Saturday. I'm excited to hear any of the questions that you may have for me as well.
Before we get into what's going on Saturday, because like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting up again early on Saturday, getting in the car, and making the trip up to Albany. It's weird to think. At one point, I was going to Albany since February, since the last Dynasty show.
Wow. Since February, my goodness.
And I used to be on the road 3 times a month.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I know how that goes. I am an avid traveler myself. I've been traveling to multiple states. It's down in Philadelphia myself for a little bit. I'm going to be back in Philly next month. Hopefully, if things work out, but we'll see. So I know what it is to be a road warrior, sir.
As I always say, I don't make as much as indie wrestlers do, but I travel like they do.
Hey, it's because you have the heart, you have the love for the business.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to, and especially with good wrestling, like I know we're going to be seeing on Saturday. But before we get into the card, I want to get into Black Rose for a little bit. Black Rose obviously won the title at, I think, one of the fair shows, if I remember correctly.
He won the title.
Or was it at Empire Live?
It was at Empire Live. He defended it at the fair, at the most recent fair show at Saratoga. But he has not had, I feel, a proper defense.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you, because I remember when Johan held the title. And I remember on this show specifically, you had guys like Sergeant Fury. You had guys like Black Rose himself. You had guys like Fox Vineyard, who continuously called out Johan for never defending the title. Now, all of a sudden, Black Rose has the title, and I feel like it's gone radio silent. You don't hear anybody calling him out. I mean, where do you think that kind of stems from?
I think a lot of that has to do with life itself, because with Dynasty, we've had to postpone one of our shows that was supposed to transpire in the April-May area. So there was a title defense that transpired at the Saratoga County Fairgrounds back in July. There was one there, but it wasn't one of our main shows. Now we're coming back for Capital Gains October 18th, this Saturday at Empire Live, one of my favorite venues. And Black Rose is going to be defending that title. Who he's going to be defending it against, I am not quite certain. I have not gotten to check my mailbox yet to see the card. But I can guarantee that he wants to be a fighting champion. He has the look of a fighting champion. He's not going to be just sitting off the wayside or cheating his way to victory in some cases where Johan has. You know, when Johan defended his title in the Battle Royal, he rolled under the ropes, came back at the end, and just claimed victory.
Mm-hmm.
Smart move. I mean, you can't discredit somebody with a surefire way to win, because that is how you retain your championship.
Yeah. But I just find it very funny, though, how for months people were calling out Johan left and right. And all of a sudden now it's like, okay, Black Rose held, unless what it comes down to, and I've said this a couple of times now this week, people are afraid because they know that Black Rose, where Johan may have had a few kinks, sort of, or like a few holes in his offense, I don't think Black Rose can. You can't sit there and say, well, Black Rose has holes in his offense. Because I feel like every match I've seen of him so far in the Dynasty, I feel like it's becoming crisper and crisper.
He is a very solid worker. That is for sure. You know, it's hard to say because there is a lot of wonderful talent in Dynasty, but there are a few that are on Black Rose's level, and maybe that's the case. Maybe some are having self-doubt. Maybe some don't think that they can hold a candle to Black Rose in the ring. But we'll see. I'm sure we'll hear from Fox Vineyard on Saturday because he always runs his mouth.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he can back it up in the ring as well. I hate to admit it, but he can.
Yeah, I mean, we forget at the last show because, like I said, it has been a while since Dynasty has had a quote unquote a big show and not a fair show. People forget Fox technically is the number one contender. Because if you remember at the show in February, I think it was, or like the last big show, I think he had to beat, if I remember correctly, I forgot who he had to beat. I think the stipulation was if he won, he would be next in line for that title.
I believe he beat Chris.
I think it was Chris, from my understanding.
Yes.
But I think it's funny though, because you got Fox. Like we mentioned before, you got Sergeant Fury, who we haven't really heard from in a while. I mean, I know he kind of showed up here and there, but we haven't really heard from him. But not only that, you got guys like Jeff Nova, who can easily be in that discussion. You got Johan, who, let's be honest, as a champion, he does have the rematch that he can always go back to. But then you also got other guys who we're not even thinking of.
I mean,
who's the also Wrecking Ball doesn't show up.
Wrecking Ball, who every time he enters that ring at the Dynasty, he leaves destruction in his path. He lives up to the name.
Or as I call it, I don't call it Empire 11, but I call it the Dynasty Arena. Because to me, it fits perfect. But, I mean, we got Black Rose. Obviously, I'm curious to see if we're going to see Tina at all, who is your new women's champion. And people forget that part, that she does hold some gold. And let's be honest, we talk about how loaded the men's side is. Look at the women's side.
Oh, man, absolutely.
I mean
Tina San Antonio as our Dynasty Diamonds Division women's champion, she is stellar. And there is a lot of people that are looking to have a shot at that title.
No, I mean, a couple of names that come to mind, Layla James.
Yes.
I mean, we don't know if she's going to come. We don't know what her future is right now, but you got Taylor One Shot, who is going to still be in the mix somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many. You also got Kelly Madden, who I think is
Kelly
another
Madden, Tiffany Avatar.
Yeah. There's so many names that I feel like if you're Black Rose or you're Tina San Antonio, you have to keep your head on a swivel right now. Because it's like you don't know who that next challenger is going to be. But it's definitely, like I said, this show this Saturday. I mean, I can't talk any highlier. That's a word apparently now. About it. But obviously we have the costume contest.
Yes.
When we have so many big things. I mean, do you want to just run down quickly what else we're going to have?
I mean, we have the Dynasty Day 1 seminar that is the first time that we are putting on a little seminar of this caliber where if your dream is to be a manager, a wrestler, a ring announcer, This is the opportunity to come and learn about the process. You're not going to be taking your first bump yet, especially before you sign the waiver. I remember when I stepped through the ropes, 20 years ago, I had to sign that waiver just in case anything occurred. But it's the beginning process, and there isn't anything in the capital region of New York that allows people to learn more about the business anymore. And that's something that needs to be done. Yes, you can look online, but real life in person experience is completely different, especially in the world of professional wrestling, than it is to just look online and read about it and be a smart mark. It's what it is.
No,
The realness is being in the ring, in person, learning from people that have been doing this for countless of years.
but
So it's going to be a very wonderful time. That's going to be great. The costume contest for all the fans in attendance, not just for the wee ones, but for the adults. John, I can't wait to see your costume if you're coming. I mean, this is my outfit for Saturday because capital gains, we have that $50,000 prize for the main event that's up for grabs. Woo!
I got it. I'm going to reveal right now what my costume is going to be for Saturday.
All right. Lay it on us, baby.
An aspiring radio host.
Woo! Oh, are you already wearing your outfit?
Hey, it's the best thing I can go for.
Hey, at least watch it before Saturday, all right?
But, going back to this day one seminar, which I think is an incredible idea, I feel like this is where you're going to find out who truly wants to be in this industry. Absolutely. Because I feel like when you see people who join wrestling, obviously, you've had your fair share of being kind of on the other side of ring announcing. Yeah. And you see guys who come into this thinking, oh, this is easy, this is nothing, all that stuff. But those are the guys who do one match and they're like, yep, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm done.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we do get a comment coming in here, actually, from your friend Billy. She goes, hey there, gentlemen, see you Saturday. From your friend Billy, # we are the Dynasty.
It's a terrible heart. I'm not a hard person.
But, I mean, like I said, if you are somebody and, you're watching this now or you're watching this later on, you can get up to Albany. I would definitely take this opportunity because you see a lot of seminars happen. Obviously, me living on Long Island, NYWC is probably the biggest one to do seminars. I feel like they do a seminar every weekend.
I know that venue very well. I trained there myself back in 2007, 2008. But
I feel like
2006. Oh my God.
Does that make you feel old now?
A little bit. 20 years. 20 years soon. That's crazy.
Okay. I'm going to ask you this now. Go back to the 2006 Leo Larynx here for a second.
Oh man, that wasn't even. I wasn't even Leo then. My goodness.
Well, okay, the younger you then.
Yeah.
You were 06. Okay, you're going into wrestling. Would you have imagined 20 years later you would be still involved with it, doing the ring announce and stuff?
It's hard to say because my heart has always been in professional wrestling. It's why I wanted to be an entertainer when I was 12 years old. Like, I didn't want to be an actor or an entertainer just for that. I wanted to be in the world of professional wrestling. And I tried and I did it. I trained for 3 to about 4 years regularly and got hurt twice in 2010. And was on crutches for a total of 6 months. And I was like, I'm going to stop for a little bit. And then I started announcing for some local promotions that don't exist anymore in the capital region. And I missed it. And I still would love to do more physical things, like be a manager. I'm a manager for certain people, but nothing in the capital region. I'm stuck as the ring announcer. So I got to be not biased or have any favoritism towards anybody, or I should say. because that's going to rub people the wrong way when they got this wonderful voice on their side and just, talking trash about their opponent while it's even going on. That's going to be intimidating for some folks. Some people can't handle that. But young me would still like to say, I was always going to be involved in professional wrestling no matter what. And I made it a point. I took a break. I took about a 10-year break, maybe 15, give or take, depending. But I've done other avenues, and my home right now is with the Dynasty, and it will be for the foreseeable future. But I'm not opposed to working other places, so hit me up.
Well, we do got one comment here actually from Jay, who's a co-host of Around the Ropes, saying he's loving the suit.
Oh, thank you, Jay. Appreciate it.
Funny thing is, we had Billy on Tuesday, and Ray, who's another co-host of mine, actually made the point, and I wish I had time to put this together, have somebody dress up like IRS.
I love it. Oh man. But please do not kidnap me.
But on a side note, and then we'll get back to the Dynasty stuff in a second. As a ring announcer, and people know who've been watching the show, I've had a laundry list of ring announcers on. Ryan Peterson, Shane Fair, Mike Falvo, the list goes on and on.
I love Shane. Oh.
I called them Mount Rushmore. And it's weird because I've had on all these ring announcers. Billy, another ring announcer as well.
Yes.
And I've never asked this one question. We always find out what goes through the mindset of a wrestler before they go through the curtain. But what goes through the mind of a ring announcer before they go through the curtain?
It's a great question. The thing is, with being a ring announcer, you're going through that curtain over and over and over again. But I feel like the mentality is still the same. And I have to say that this particular advice I was given by a wrestler, a seminar at NYWC, and it was Jerry Lynn. And he said that if you don't get nervous before you walk through that curtain, then this does not mean that much to you. And that has always stuck by me, because no matter what sort of entertainment field that I'm in, but either as an actor before I walk through the curtain to step on stage, as a ring announcer, as a wrestler, as any sort of entertainer, for me personally, I live by that. If I don't feel anything, if I'm not nervous before I go through that, and it's not even bad nerves, and sometimes it can be bad nerves, but I care so much every time I step through that curtain. It means the world to me that I get to entertain people, whether it's 20 to 30 people in the crowd, upwards of 500. Hopefully we get Pack Out Empire live this Saturday. We'll see. And if I ever get the opportunity to do a venue of 10,000 plus, that would be amazing. But the feeling will still be the same no matter the size of that venue, because I care so much about this business and this industry. And it means the world to me that the people in those seats are having one of the greatest times of their life.
No, I totally, and it's funny, the way you were talking about it, I kind of hinted back with this show, doing the show now for almost 4 years, overall since 2011, and people laugh at me. I know we do the show live every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, but I've already figured it out. By 7:55, all of a sudden I get those goosebump feelings, and it's funny, I've been doing this long enough now, I shouldn't have that. But I'm like, You know what? I still go through with it of, I do it for the love of this.
That's it. You show up.
Yeah.
You show up every week. And that's part of being successful. It's just showing up for yourself, showing up for your fans, but you're doing it for you as well.
Sorry to cut you off there, Leo.
You're fine.
I look at it this way, and not to get too somber here for a second. We always talk about mental health, especially with pro wrestling, and it's always one of the biggest discussions. How pro wrestling has kind of helped with mental health. I've said it for the longest time. Combination of around the ropes and indie wrestling has helped with me with mental health because it kind of gives me that avenue and kind of gives me that push that I'm like, there's a reason I sit here every week. Leo, there's a reason why you come out to the ring, with your very colorful suits every time, and you can be seen by three. I can be here on Long Island, and I can turn around and go, "Oh, look, there's Leo right now."
Yeah, it's like the Northern Lights, baby. That's it.
Got some more comments coming in here quickly. Just want to pull them up quickly. Jay says John has a passion for this and the work ethic, and it always shows, especially right now, people.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that a lot. And Jay actually has a question for you.
Shoot, babe.
What is the most challenging aspect of being a ring announcer?
All right, hold on. Let me compose myself for a moment. I feel like that is
your question.
That is a loaded question because depending on where you're at, the venue, you may not have the ability to check if everything is working in proper order until the day of, maybe an hour before. And sometimes that's not enough time to solve any issues. So you have to make the most of it. And in those moments is when I die inside. So, like, little by little, I'm just, pieces of me are just like just curling up in a little ball and just disintegrating within my soul. Like, it is awful. I'm going to say it right now. One of the shining examples is the Waterville Dome. Okay.
I remember that show.
Terrible. That was maybe like a year and a half ago. It was like the second or third show that I was doing with Dynasty, and the sound system was terrible because it was a giant indoor sporting complex that had speakers from like 30 years ago. And it's great if you have to announce like, oh, Cindy Lou, come pick up Brian. No, it doesn't help for ring announcing whatsoever. So after the first 30 minutes of the show, somebody had a little personal PA speaker with a wired mic. And guess what? That's what I did ring announcing on for the duration of that show, carrying this thing with the wire in and out of the ring, up and down the stairs. At that point, I said, fuck it. I'm going to stand on the outside of the ring. That's just one of the things. The second, answer for that question, Jay, is if I have not worked with certain individuals, is just making sure that I get all the proper information that I need, making sure that I have all the sponsorship info, because depending on who you work with as a ring announcer, sometimes that information will be presented to you nice and neat in an email or whatever, or it's going to be my job to hunt and track that down and make sure I have all that information, which it happens, a decent amount, but it makes it exciting. That's for sure.
I remember that because when you were answering that question before, and I'm sitting here going, is he going to talk about the Waterville League show? Is he going to talk about the Waterville League show?
Yeah.
And I remember that because the guy who brought the microphone is the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, Seth Turner.
Oh, no, it was either Seth had it or Kyle, KJ Britton may have had it. I don't know which one. It could have been Seth, but regardless, that thing saved the show because I can project pretty well. Like my voice can travel. That's why I am the loudmouth Leo. But as big of a venue that is, there's no place for sound to travel and bounce off. It's just a void.
It's funny that building was the first show I ever stepped foot in for wrestling up in the Capital Region.
Oh my goodness!
Was when they did the Hall of Fame for a little company ran by a little person named Jason Stone. I know that's a shocker of a name, but if you know, you know. And I remember Mike Falvo was doing the ring announcing for that show. And I remember, and this was going back August of 22, I think. So you're going back almost 3 years. And it was the same issue. The microphone kept screwing up.
Oh my God.
I remember that because they had to, and that one he was using the Bluetooth one. So it was like every 2 steps he would, and I was sitting there. I'm like, I remember for that show, when I was coming up for that show, and I'm like, oh, this area looks familiar. And I'm driving, and I'm like, no, this isn't that. I'm like, oh my God.
And another issue also is, depending on where you're at, is other sound issues that aren't part of the sound system. Could be the sound guy for the day, if you don't have a regular sound guy that can travel with you. Because there are times when I'm doing a show and the music cues are not happening in a timely fashion. So you have to stand there and look pretty. You either have to improvise, but sometimes mid, wrestlers entering the ring, like if there's a hiccup between person A already in the ring, then person B coming out, you can't just start doing, a little stand-up bit, unfortunately, as much as you want to, because that's just not going to be a good look for whoever's already in the ring. You're taken away from that. The focus is supposed to be on the match at that point, but
I got to do a little song, do a little like Looney Tunes.
Oh God. Hey, if I had my wife's pipes and could sing, I absolutely would. I can make noise with this. It's not going to sound great, okay?
No, believe me, I totally get it. But like I said, guys, we talk about it so much on the show. And people who watch the show for the longest time know that there are certain companies I put over to the moon. And I will do anything for it. And the Dynasty is one of them.
Oh, we love to hear that, John.
So I am.
It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure when you're around.
Absolutely. I'm glad that I'm able to, that everything kind of fixed itself in the last couple of months with everything I've dealt with. And people know I had a car accident back in April.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if I was going to ever make the trip back up there. And lo and behold, I said this on Tuesday. I'll say this again.
You stole the car.
My butt will be up in Albany this Saturday.
So you did steal a car. You didn't say no. All right? You didn't say no.
No, yeah. Thanks. No, it was not a fun experience for that one.
Man.
But no, like I said, I'm glad the Dynasty's coming back. I'm glad with everything that's been going on that, they can still run shows. Last question I got for you, and this is sort of an interesting question.
Okay.
If you have somebody who's watching this or who catches this later on and they've never been to the Dynasty, as the man who does the ring announcement, who's in the ring with a lot of these guys, what would be your number one reason to tell somebody to come check out the Dynasty?
I mean, obviously, besides seeing me or your friend and mine, Billy, the thing about Dynasty is we are this small but mighty promotion. There's been a lot of great things. We don't do shows every month. We sometimes don't get to do shows every other month. But the matches and the stories that we do have, and if we had the ability to keep going month to month, it would be able to wow so many more people. But I think one of the best things about it is it's actually just a good time. Like, I wish, for me growing up, NYWC didn't do shows that often back in the early 2000s. It wasn't that frequent. More so now, they have their own venue, and that's something that we are looking to do. And we have been shopping around for cats out of the bag, if nobody knew that. But we're awaiting certain answers to certain things. But the performers that are performing at Dynasty care about the world of professional wrestling. They care about the fans that come and see them perform to put on a show, because we have heart, we have soul, we are the Dynasty.
No, I completely agree. And Jay has a comment here. He goes, Dynasty gives back to kids. You got to love that. All about the kids.
That's right.
I'll put it this way. Like I said, people know, wrap up with this. People know, I work with a lot of companies from all across, from Florida to Chicago to Pennsylvania to New York.
You get around.
That's an understatement. But I feel like with the Dynasty, it's different. It's not just wrestling. It's actually a family. And I remember after everything that happened with me back in April, I had a lot of people from the Dynasty reach out to me to check up on me. And being in that building, yes, I know certain people in Dynasty, like to poke fun at me sometimes, but I know it's all in love. And I will do anything I can for the Dynasty. And I will say that till I can't.
Yeah.
Because to me, there's something different about the Dynasty. There's something different, especially being in Empire Live. There's like a different vibe in that building. And obviously someone like me who's been to the Monster Factory, who's been to the 2300 Arena, who's been to Ridgefield Park, who's been to you name it, walking into Empire Live, you feel like you're walking into something special. You're walking into something, and this is part of the reason why I kind of like the fact that the Dynasty isn't streamed live on like an IWTV, because it makes it much more worth it to go if you can, because you don't know who's going to appear there.
That's also very true.
Go back to what was it, December? I think it was this past December, when you guys did the show at the mall. I think it was the Mall Brawl. I think it was. And
I may have missed that one.
And Richard Holiday showed up.
Yeah.
I mean, go back to the very first show for Capital Gains. You had Jay Lethal.
Yes.
So you don't know, and especially now with the way pro wrestling is, you don't know who's going to show up. I mean, let's all go back to that lovely show Dynasty did last February. That unfortunately got more negative publicity because of who showed up, but still, it was Velveteen Dream.
Hey, I have to say, even negative publicity is still publicity.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying, though, is you never know who's going to show up.
That's right.
So, if you can...
I mean, I don't find out until the day of, which I like to do all my cards, in advance. Yeah, no. I can't do it for this, ever.
I mean, I remember the show when Velveteen Dream was there, and the only way I found out was Andrew, one of the great photographers, was showing me some photos that he was taking. And I'm looking, I'm going, is that who I think it is? He goes, shh. I'm like, oh, okay.
You also were in there early as well when he was training, because you were doing the podcast that day.
Yeah. It was definitely, like I said, that is one place where I will wake up, even on a Saturday, at early at 6:00 in the morning to make sure I'm up there in enough time. Like I said, I would do anything for that building, for that company. Yeah. Because of how much they have helped me with this show and how much they have been backing me up with this show. A show, mind you, that as of now, I'll say this one more time. A show now that is on Spotify. We're on iTunes, or Apple now. Sorry, we can't call it iTunes anymore. This is in 2008.
Just the Apple.
Yes. Also on Odyssey.
Woo!
We're also on a little station. I don't know if you've heard of it, called ESPN Radio
Oh snap!
down in Florida.
Do I have to pay $30 a month for that too?
No,
Oh, okay. All right.
no, that one is free. But and then there's more to come, which I can't unveil yet. So there is more.
Yeah, love it.
But it's insane. But Leo, I'm glad we were able to get you on. I always have a blast having you on. Obviously, before we go, are tickets still available? Where can fans buy tickets and all that stuff?
All right. So tickets are still available. Let me get the proper link for everyone. I didn't have that at the ready. Hold on. Here we go. We have it at purplepass.com/gains. GAINS. Purplepass, one word, .com/gains. That's where tickets are available. There's tickets for the seminar that may still be available. They were a limited supply. I know that we did open up a few more. I'm not sure what quantity is left at the moment. I do not have access to that. And as far as tickets, if you are deciding last minute and don't mind, not getting front row, because I'm sure front row might be sold out already. But who knows? Maybe it's not. Standing room will be available. You get tickets at the door. They will not be of a discount, unfortunately. We're just going to be out of chairs. So please come see us. Get your tickets at purplefest.com/gains or show up at Empire Live. I think it's like 93 North Pearl Street, Albany, New York, in the capital region. 12205.
Yep, and I just want to make a mention also, it's right off the highway.
Right off the highway, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, if you're coming up from Long Island, just get over, take the Cross Island, go over to the Throgs, hop over to the Tappan Zee, take 87 north to exit 23, get off on 787. Boom, it's like exit 3 off that.
Yep, it's right there. Yeah, it's incredible. Jay did his work apparently.
Oh, wait, is there an E?
I don't know now. I don't think so.
I don't think there's an E. I think it's just GAINS. That's what it said on the site.
Hold on, brother. Let me see.
GAINS.
No, it is. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
It's all right, Jay. I appreciate you, though.
Jay, I appreciate that a lot. But guys, again, if you're in the capital region area, you definitely do not want to miss this show. It's going to be a phenomenal show. There's going to be a costume contest. Oh, he fixed it.
Yeah.
There's going to be a costume contest. And so much more. There's also a 4-on-4 elimination match where the winning team gets $50,000. They might just have to take off Leo's jacket. $50,000 right there.
No, this isn't real. This is not real. I have matching pants. You're not going to see those until Saturday. I ain't showing you the bottoms. All right?
It's all good, Jay. But, guys, again, it's great to have the Dynasty back. It's great to have Leo back on here. And, guys, this has been another Around the Ropes. Guys, don't miss us. We'll be live every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, over on Facebook, YouTube, and so many more. Guys, also catch the Battleground War Room every Monday night. And catch Around the BC Dub World every Thursday night. And also catch I-86 After Dark every Wednesday night as well. So, guys, I'm a busy, busy person.
See him when you can.
But, guys, again, for Loudmouth Leo, I'm John. This has been the Around the Ropes radio show. We'll catch you next time.
Bye, man.